Thank you to the Patreon supporters of the What We Remember podcast. Leo, Nathan E., Jacqueline M., Matthew J., Paul and Sandy J., Sarah P., a.k.a. Situational Daddy on Instagram, and Big Time Jim. Help support our show by going to patreon.com/whatweremember. Thanks. It's about when this movie came out.
I actually don't know when this came out. 2005?
Yeah, it was about that.
I feel like it was earlier.
I think we were in high school.
2002?
2001? The Space Odyssey?
98?
84?
No, 2000s.
2000s?
I think it's definitely after 2000.
2002. It's got to be.
Let's go with
Wow.
2002.
We haven't even started the podcast, and we already have a correction that I got to make.
Oh my gosh.
Part 2.
Me.
My name is Bradley Jones.
My name is Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
And it's Halloween! Spooky!
Yeah.
It threw me off. Hold on.
Okay.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember a movie that we haven't seen in a very, very long spooky time. And this is what we remember about 28 days later.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
It's that classic line. How long are you going to be here? 28 days.
28 days
that's 2
later. So you don't know much about it. You know a good chunk, and I know some
I
of
wonder
it.
if I'm going to get like 28 weeks later mixed
Did
in.
you
You might.
You like
You
28
might.
weeks? Do you like that sequel?
I liked it.
I think it's good.
I don't
liked it.
remember what happened other than it starts at a farmhouse.
That is correct.
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, fudge! That's all my trivia.
Oh, boy.
Actually, no, I do know how this
Yeah.
movie opens.
Go ahead. Ooh, who's in it?
Who's in it?
Ooh, who's in
Cillian
it?
Murphy.
Breakout role, right?
Chopin.
He probably did some other stuff.
He
but
probably
like,
did, yeah.
I always thought he was going to be bigger than he...
Pre-Batman.
I still think he was supposed to be bigger than he was. Is he a big deal?
Yeah, he did Red Eye.
People aren't talking about
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy.
he was big for like a couple years. Then I feel like, yeah.
He was big from like 2002 to like 2008.
Was he in Inception? That was his last big film,
Yeah.
That
right?
was 2010.
Yeah.
Wow. He has... Wow. Come on.
No,
Cillian.
No. He's done Peaky Blinders.
Oh,
And
He's on a television show.
Yeah.
That's on Netflix.
I've heard
and
that's really good,
done
and I
a
need to
couple
He's a
watch that.
great actor that got hidden in a TV show. He got Idris Elba.
Well, he got hidden
got
in a
Josh
show that
Hartnett
you didn't watch.
Well, that's a good
he-
actor.
he's still
Whoa! Are we about to fight over my boy Josh
6
Hartnett?
days and 7 nights. We'll fight. No, that's not the
boy.
one. 40 days and 40
Is
nights.
Josh Hartnett
Okay,
good?
well, he's got 40 days and 4 nights, and he also has, 30 days of night? So lots of days
and this
and nights.
movie has
okay.
a number in it, too.
That's true.
This was like a number film.
A lot of
Because
numbers.
it's got a number in the
Yeah,
title.
but there were a lot of number films, I thought.
8
in
Crazy
the,
Nights.
There you go.
Yeah, the other one.
7.
Right
there.
right there.
6, 5, 4. Wait,
Lucky
they didn't
number
come out with those
11.
yet?
X versus Slevin. Oh, yeah.
Jason X.
Hey, you stuck another Harshnett in there.
I did.
I said Harshnett.
Harshnett?
I combined Josh and Hartnett to make Harshnett.
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 Is that his website?
Sounds like, yeah, it sounds like some guy.
I had to
one of
go on the
characters from
Harshnett the
Hackers.
other day to just see, was he in Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Don't mess with Harshnett.
I checked it on the Harshnett, and turns out it's true.
It's like the dark web, but brutal.
It's a real
It's
Sin
darker.
City. See, I can do it, too.
Hey.
Any other actor?
Brendan Gleeson is in this.
Sure, he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Brendan
Put him in it.
Gleeson.
I'm trying to remember who.
I don't know who that is.
Who the female
Is
lead
it
is.
But this is a British movie.
Brendan Gleeson's in a. Okay, I remember him from like the weirdest thing. I remember him most from like the Green Zone.
Harry Potter.
I think he's.
Oh, is he little Snidely Whiplash's father?
Oh, jeez.
What's his name?
Snape?
No, the boy.
He is in the Harry
Draco.
Potter movies. No,
Oh, okay.
he
No,
plays
no.
Mad-Eye Moody.
Yeah. He's the dude from In Bruges. He's not Colin Farrell.
Okay, with the eyeball.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He's in so many things.
Oh, he's in like a million. Every British movie he's in at some point.
What a face on this man.
Bruges, yeah.
He's in. Oh, his clearly best role was in Paddington 2. Tell us about the opening, Andy. What happens?
Well, he's at a hospital.
No.
I'm out.
The opening is in an animal testing facility.
Oh.
And a bunch of doctors.
In Wuhan?
In England. Britain. Right?
Okay,
London?
the virus.
I'm going to say
They're
London.
testing on monkeys, chimpanzees.
Yeah, they're testing some sort
And
of...
they're like,
Yeah, that's
Like,
what they're
probably.
like. That's what they're like.
and they...
Were you? Were you?
I'm
Planet of the
a
Apes? Is
Foley
that
artist.
actually- yeah.
I'm a Foley artist.
an Axel Foley artist.
Oh,
See, he can do any quote or song from Beverly Hills Cop. Is that good?
that's true.
Why haven't we done Beverly Hills Cop?
Because we're failures as podcast hosts.
That's the next movie we're building up.
We better do that.
That's your next Highlander. We got to build. That's episode 200.
That
Oh,
movie
wow.
is wonderful. Anyway.
So I don't know what they're testing on these monkeys or chimpanzees or whatever these are, but it makes them go into a violent rage. And
Don't
one of the
their, like,
monkeys
eyes
bites a
turn red?
technician,
Guys, you won't believe this.
and then that guy turns into a violent rage,
It's
and he
called-
bites people.
It's called Rage.
There you
Oh,
go.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. Because they're not zombies. They're
No.
like intense, like they're running at people.
You don't say the
They're
Z
like-
word. This
Yeah,
is like the
that's true.
first fast zombie
They're
film.
like rabid.
I could be.
people.
I'm lying, but
Ooh, this
They have.
this could date the movie because Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead was 2001, I think.
No.
2004.
2004?
I think this is 2001.
Because if this was the first
I think
Fast
it's two.
Zombie, it's before that. But if it's not the first,
I think there were other
We
probably
didn't even
fast
talk about the
zombies and
director.
other ones, but
Danny Boyle directed this.
we need to talk about the writer.
we need so much to talk. We should have a podcast where we talk about movies so we can get this all out.
I can't. I'm too busy. I'm doing this. I'm doing other things, especially like this.
Because this is
Who wrote it?
The Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina. He
Okay.
did Annihilation.
Oh.
Like recent, well,
Heady sci-fi.
he recently started doing the directing. He's been writing for forever, apparently. Like he's done some pretty decent movies ahead of this stuff. But yeah, recently he's suddenly gotten into directing and is just like crushing it with these crazy sci-fi kind
Good
of
for
horrors.
him.
Wow.
Only took 20 years.
Man, yeah, it just took a while.
Stay on the grind.
And apparently he has written a third one, but hasn't gotten anyone to want to make it.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it.
Zombies are a little
Requires
played
another.
out.
Yeah.
They're
Well, this
you're
tried
gonna
to
need a
switch it up.
break.
This
You're
tried
gonna need
to
a break.
This tried to reinvent the zombie.
Yeah,
by
but
giving
also
them
World
fast,
War
speedy
Z
powers.
is kind of the same, right?
Does they
Same
do
type
15
of
years
zombie.
after,
No, they do talk about
No,
how...
I'm just saying, like, zombies are a little too played out to make a third one right now. I think you got to take a break for a little bit.
But
They were, though.
Put yourself back in the seat of watching 28 Days Later, though. This was like the zombie movie.
There hadn't been a zombie movie in a long
It's
time.
never been like this in a long time.
It was like... There were a million because
Yeah, in
Romero
the
forgot to
80s,
trademark Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, and I do like Return of the Living Dead.
And then they stopped for a while. And
90s
then
was
they
a
came
fu-
out swinging.
I don't even know if I could name a 90s zombie
No,
film.
I couldn't.
80s for sure, but
Yeah, though this movie reinvented, brought
Give
them
'em
back into the
superpowers.
zeitgeist for sure. And then,
Let them
like I
run
said,
fast.
You got this immediately after you got the
What
new
if
Dawn of the
Usain
Dead
Bolt
with
got
fast
bit by a
zombies.
zombie?
And then you got now you got World War Z and all the crazy
yeah,
insane
it definitely
stuff.
went
Went a little overboard.
escalated.
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Well, that killed it.
Yeah, it really.
That's
did.
really what killed it.
Yeah.
That's why you can't make a zombie movie right now. Nobody wants to see it.
No.
It's a little played out.
They've had some good.
And as a Warm Bodies
I
fan,
would say I love Warm Bodies. I think that movie's really good.
Is it like a love story?
Underrated.
Yeah. love turns people back into people.
Well, that's a unique take though. That's like a
It is. It was
very
creative.
unique
Yeah,
take.
that's what you got to just you got to add something unique and
like Danny Boyle did.
yeah.
Because you want to talk about Train Spotting, you want to talk about A Life Less Ordinary,
Sure,
you
but I
want to
wanna
talk
see- I wanna
about
see that movie
Slumdog
still.
Millionaire.
I just knew that he directed this.
You wanted to talk about
That's all I wanted to talk about.
Sunshine.
I just wanted to talk about that.
I think Sunshine was also written by Alex Garland.
127 Hours.
Ooh.
Train Spotting 2.
Ooh.
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
No, that's John Hughes.
Train spotting in automobiles?
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to train spotting your dragon?
Training Day?
Ooh,
Train
there
spotting
you go.
I can play along.
Yeah.
I'll get one. Don't throw mama from the train spotting.
Ooh, okay.
I liked it. You usually don't get one.
It's because I'm doing a bit that nobody gets. There's a moment in It's Always Sunny where like Mac makes some reference and then Dennis makes a reference and then Charlie's just like, okay, wait, hold on, guys, I want to get one too. Hold on. And then he just like nothing ever comes to mind. He's like,
Wants to call her a bird name, and you just can't get one.
Yeah. So when I do that, I'm actually referencing that thing.
How convenient.
But it doesn't ever pay off for me.
No. So this rage destroys the world.
But we don't see that.
Everybody gets infected. Yeah, we don't see it.
Yeah.
Does Cillian Murphy get knocked out?
So it's a
see that
bite.
happen?
It's a bite thing.
I don't
bite
even know
thing.
if we get to see him prior.
Was he just
to
in a
whatever he's
coma?
doing.
He just happened to have been in a coma?
He got in like a car accident and then like I think
During the rage
he was
attacks?
being treated and then the entire hospital evacuated
sure.
and left him behind because he was in a coma.
Like at the end of Resident Evil.
Yes, because we, the audience, are sort of brought in almost when he wakes up, and we're trying to piece together.
And The Walking Dead
With him.
stole that exact premise for their thing.
and you will be a little shocked. This movie is shot on a digital camera.
DV.
DV, like it looks it's gonna look
It's
super
grainy.
digital,
Interesting.
very digital, and all the shots of him walking around London, you definitely pick that up. That kind of happens. In,
I
like,
do
this
remember
opening-
hearing about the
opening
shots of
sequence.
London because it was a big deal because they are making, one of the biggest cities
Yeah.
on the planet.
They had to
look
kick
empty.
everybody off
and
the
so
street.
they talked. Yeah, there was like I remember them talking about like they had basically like 10 minutes, like at dawn every morning, where they were allowed to like close these like locations around London. So they had like one chance to get these takes of empty streets and stuff, and it's so cool. It adds so much atmosphere to the beginning of this movie and such an amazing tone, I think.
Yeah, this movie kind of set up independent filmmaking in the 2000s because it was like anybody can get this camera. It's like a $900 camera at Best Buy.
Yeah.
And you can shoot 28 days later.
Kids these days are all like,
Forget about post-production. Don't worry about
I
post-production.
got
That's
the
like
new
millions of
Black
dollars,
Magic
but you-
28K
yeah.
Wait, you
camera.
can't start shooting until 28 days after you buy it.
Well, you got to get it on layaway.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm gonna have to return it 2 days after that.
Yeah.
But because he went out of his way to shoot this on DV, he didn't have to. He could have used a real good camera, but he wanted to have it look a certain
Danny
way.
Boyle's that kind of person though. That
He wants to push filmmaking. He wants to push it.
he's like a Lars von Trier type, maybe, but not that structured.
So he wakes up from the hospital and ain't nobody around. And you talk about the London scenes. What does he do after that?
He
has to meet somebody.
He finds a couple.
Doesn't
and
he
is-
like go to a convenience store for food or something like that?
Yeah,
and he
makes
runs
sense.
into a girl?
a rager.
No,
he
there's
hasn't seen
there's
the
a young
Rangers yet.
girl there that I think he starts hanging with.
He runs into like some couple.
A young black girl, is it?
Yes, that happens a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he runs into like a couple who sort of kind of explain how like everything fell apart, and he's like, I need to find my parents. So like the first bit is them
Trying to go to his house.
I think trying to go to they go to his parents' house, and he finds like his parents' skeletons in a bed.
Oh.
Like they committed suicide instead of like getting killed by the rage.
Bummer.
Oh, Jesus.
And so like he's all depressed, and I think that's when they like the couple take him back to like this tower that they're staying in with a dad and his daughter.
A group of survivors or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. And they're like scavenging for food, I think.
Yeah, I think
They're like going out
so.
for just like
Makes sense.
Well, they
Do
have like a
runs of some
barricaded.
kind.
Yeah, they have like a barricaded stairway and stuff. So they take him up, and they're like, "Hey, this is where we live."
And everyone is charmingly British.
Oh yeah, that's one of the
There's
best.
that.
Yeah, that does help. I think in this movie.
I'd like to rob you of all your goods, but
Well, I'm
I'm
sure that
British, so
happens.
it's
There's probably a band of
I'm
humans.
being
that
nice
wanna,
about it.
Like
I
mess
think
you up
they're-
and steal
that's
your
Act
stuff.
3.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, isn't there like a early on, like there's a group that tries to come into the convenience store that they're like raiding?
I think you're right. I think that's why, like, because they have like a kind of a nice setup in this building, and I think some person or group of people like tear down their barricades, basically trying to get some food from them, and they have to run, and then zombies show up at the same time, and like they have to go, and so they like take off. They like one of them has like a car, and they all just take off out of the town into the countryside.
You mentioned that tower. I know this for sure. Like a bunch of rage people chase them up that tower.
Yeah.
And it's scary as all
they in,
get
like,
out.
super scary.
a church? Is it a church?
It's like a
bell tower. A bell tower.
It's like an apartment building.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of stairs.
There's a lot of stairs. Yep, and they have like a whole barricade set up on them.
I think they even use like weird like fast motion and like frame rate stuff to make the rage zombies look different and freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that's gonna be noticeable or not.
Yeah, I don't know. The film quality might be suspect.
I
in this
actually,
film, but I don't know.
I'm not sure if he uses the DV camera for the entire movie.
I think he does.
You think so?
I think he does.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he used it for certain shots, but not the whole thing. But we'll find out.
We'll find out. Part 2. And we watch, we're not done yet.
A couple more minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Buckle up. Yeah, so they go up to the top of that tower. One of them has to be bit. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
well,
the little
lose,
kid.
they lose one of the. I think they lose the guy from the couple he
Yeah.
meets first. I think that's because he gets with the lady at the end of the movie. I think,
Ooh.
basically,
Nice. Good for him.
he's like, "Hey, remember when your
And you
bro
got
died?
like
Bud died?"
a whisker hair.
Oh, geez. He does not like this.
There it goes.
He does not
I
like
got
whisker
it.
You
hairs.
got
I got it.
It was just hanging.
It was hanging out. A whisker.
Because when you get bit by one of these guys, you're like instant zombie.
Oh yeah,
Instant, like,
you're
what,
like-
seconds?
yeah.
It takes, it's like, in the original Dawn of the Dead, they have like the dude who hangs around for like a day. No, this one is like a minute.
I'm just picturing, like, you get bit and then your eyes, like, slowly from the bottom up just, like, turn red, like,
Like,
and then you're, like,
steam shoots out your
raging.
ears.
Yeah, it's like a cartoon. I'm raging!
They play that one cartoon song.
Yeah, and there's, like, a fade-in of, like, a bowl, just, like,
It's like a train whistle.
It's a totally different film.
Oh boy.
that's how you rage out.
But they escape that somehow.
They get, I think they take like the fire escape down and manage to get out to
that's
the car and
this is
Yeah.
to get out of the
intense.
city.
People were, like, freaked out about this movie.
This movie's so good.
It was scary.
Yeah. I think you said there hadn't been anything like it in like 10 years. Everyone was like, "What
they're
is
like
this?"
running.
And fast zombies,
at
man,
full
they're
s-
terrifying.
full sprint.
Yeah, those crazy. The rage zombies are just
Like
nuts.
I know I'm thinking of the second one a lot, but like there's that opening sequence in the second one where like you see like 100 or 200 or 300
Oh,
of them
yeah,
come
there's a
down
lot
a
of them.
hill and they're
Oh,
like
yeah.
full sprinting,
A lot of extras in this film.
and the guy has to like run and leave his entire family behind.
That's like they have like a whole family of them, and like they lose them one at a time. Finally, they get to the boat, and it's just like one of them gets in the boat and manages to leave. Oh, that is
devastating.
that is so hard.
But in this movie, you can really like put that DV camera anywhere you want. You makes you feel like you're like with the zombies or with the people, and these things are happening.
Yeah.
and it's such like a separation from something like I Am Legend.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like another similar zombie movie, but it's like high production value,
Very
and you're like
clinical.
far
Yeah,
away
you're
from
right.
anything.
You feel very disconnected
Yeah.
from
from those zombies in that movie. But in this one, like
Oh,
you're
the
in the
vampires,
thick of
Brad?
it. You know what I mean.
I don't know why, but I've only seen the Omega Man. I haven't seen I Am Legend.
I mean, that's the end.
That's not the
That's
lame
the Omega. Skip the Alpha, go right
You
to
just
the
gotta go
Omega.
see. Now you got to see Gemini Man or whatever the new one.
Oh, that's not part
Gemini
of it. That's a
Man?
different thing.
I know,
Oh,
but but it fits the theme though.
It does fit the theme.
Will Smith.
Young Will Smith.
I'm old Will Smith.
It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet me too.
Stick to being a Foley artist.
That was me. I was doing the work right there. Can you just carve out that little part for me?
Use that as a demo
I
reel.
need to use that. That's my Will Smith impression.
Yeah. We'll put a clip of Gemini Man, but put that audio over top.
Just into that end, they're like, I don't think you understand what a Foley artist is. They're like, isn't that a person that has voices of other people?
That's a looper.
A looper.
Now go loop and looper.
I can loop. I can loop.
Do a loop de
loop the loop. Yeah.
I'll do a whole corkscrew.
So the scenes of the British city, there are barricades up, or like can they get through the city at all? The streets are probably full of cars or destruction.
Yeah. I think there's
I
burned
think
out cars,
things are just
barricades,
empty.
stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
just like a
It's
moment in
barren.
time where like everybody just escaped,
Sure.
yeah.
just ran away.
Do they have a goal? Can they get somewhere? Or he wants to go to some island that he used to go to as a kid, right?
Ooh, maybe.
There's
That
like
sounds plausible.
There's like a secret destination.
I
that
know
somebody
exactly
has?
what it
I
is.
thought they were going to Ireland.
No, they hear there's a radio broadcast.
Right.
That says the army has a base up north. Like everyone that's survived can come up there and, be safe. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they're trying to head north out of the city.
And I definitely remember that when they like interact with the military later on, it feels like a totally different movie.
It is. So yeah, the sort of third act of this film
it
is
like shifts hard.
It's really interesting. It's a fun twist, I think.
And there's a tunnel sequence. Do you remember tunnel sequence? Like they're going through an underpass.
Could be a
and-
channel. It's in Britain.
Channel. Was that underwater?
Yeah.
No, there is a tunnel, but that might be in the second one.
No, that's in the first
Think it's
one.
in
I'm
this
pretty
one?
sure. I think it's before they meet. Right before they meet the military.
Maybe.
They're going through like a...
There's definitely moments of them walking through and barely escaping with their lives.
Yeah, there's a cool
raging monsters.
It's interesting because you're like the Act 1 is sort
like
of
the
what
Last
happens
of Us.
in London. Act 2 is the road trip, and it's them like just heading through the English countryside. They like camp out in like ruins of like an old church or something, and like they're
That's the
getting
church I'm
to know
remembering.
each other and like bond, and yeah, you start to like really.
Is there a
enjoy
kid,
these characters.
like a dad and a
Yeah, dad and a daughter.
a dad and a daughter?
So the crew, it's a dad and a daughter, and then the surviving lady from the couple, and then Cillian Murphy.
okay,
Is this like Children of Men as well in a
a
way?
little bit.
The lead actress in this one she plays Moneypenny in all the new Bond movies.
No, you lost me.
Who
Penny Money.
yeah.
Judi
get
Dench?
No, that's Q
Oh yeah,
or M.
yeah. I thought M. I thought that was
Kick
Moneypenny.
myself. She's a really great actress.
Moneypenny's
I
like
her a lot,
the
but
secretary.
I can't remember who she is.
Emma Thompson. I'm just naming famous British actresses at this point.
So, okay, you said father, daughter, Cillian Murphy,
The lady.
The lady.
and that lady.
Yeah.
Moneypenny.
Do they ever like make a stand against people that attacking them? Do they have weapons?
When they're with the military, I think they do.
Yeah, with the military
until
stuff
yeah. In this
happens,
one,
yeah.
they might have like just like maybe like a stick or something.
I
at
don't
one
even
point,
know if
but
they
not
do or
really.
not,
I
yeah.
don't think they do. Well, and after they get out of the city, the zombies don't really happen again until near the end of the movie.
And they don't really follow zombie rules where if you hit them in the head, they're dead. I think they keep coming at you. Did I make that up?
It's probably like a take their head off and they're
Maybe.
gone.
I don't
or
know if they
shoot
get
them in the
too hard
head.
into the specifics
Of how to
on
kill
this
one of these things?
Maybe.
Does one of them maybe want to seek out a cure or like have an idea of like how to change?
The sequel
Stuff
is
back.
focused on like the cure
Yeah,
and
that's
the
right.
quarantine and all that stuff.
Okay.
This one's
This
not
movie
so
just
much.
moves past it.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of
Well, yeah,
Cillian
they're in, like,
Murphy's
the
throes
story.
of it.
The audience
just
is supposed to
started.
be Cillian Murphy, basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're just trying to figure out what's going on and
Like, how are you going to come up with a cure 28 days later when like most of the population's devastated
Yeah.
and we can't even come up with a cure for
What's happening right now?
What is it?
What are you talking about?
I don't.
Are you what? I can't understand the reference you're making
No, I don't
because
get it.
I
I
refuse
kind
to
of
watch
lost
the
my
news.
train of thought.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in the world because I've been sitting in my house
Yeah.
for the last 6 months doing nothing.
It's just very unbelievable. Like a disease could go like unchecked in a way.
yeah, that's
that,
very
like,
hard to believe
this
this
movie-
is not
it's like-
plausible.
Like if
Yeah.
you had a hockey stick, you would check it.
Yeah, yeah.
yep.
A lot of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
Like if
come
something like
on.
this ever happened, like the government would like right away
Days.
figure out like
Within days.
yeah,
Yeah,
within
they'd
days.
have plans in place.
Stuff would be in place.
Instructions for people.
Mhm, be left. There'd be like money to carry out these
Everyone would be
instructions.
very careful and listen to what they should be doing.
And the people telling you what to do would know for sure what they're doing and not like just feed you some stuff to make you feel better.
have experts and trust those experts.
And I'm telling you, I voted for him. I voted for him, and Bill Pullman's not doing anything that he said he would do on Independence Day.
Look, Andy,
This movie-
he's a combat pilot. He belongs in the air.
We jest, but this movie might take on a different hold in 2020 than we realized.
Yeah,
It's looking a little bit realer.
you know. So they get to this checkpoint or whatever they were supposed
With the
to,
military.
and no one's there.
Oh no!
And they're like, "What the heck?" And they like are wandering around.
Is it made to believe maybe it's like a setup, like a sabotage, like a group is telling people to go there in order to like jump them and steal their stuff
they're
and
not
kill
sure.
them?
I think they're
Well,
like
that
kinda
happens in Walking
cautious.
Dead.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they're kind of cautious, but they're looking through. And here, I think this is another part where they kind of break with traditional zombie tropes, where like there's dead zombies kind of all over. And like a drop of blood gets into the dad's eye, and he gets infected. Like
Oh yeah, like drips
immediately.
from
It
something.
drips from something, and he, like
There's like
he's
a dead
looking
body
up,
hanging in a
and
tree.
it drips into his eye, and he's like, "Oh god!"
And
And,
he gets in the car, right?
yeah, like he starts attacking them, and
Because he doesn't say
You
anything.
may have just said that, but
he's going nuts. And
Yeah.
then the army shows up, and they
So
save the day.
where were they?
were they just observing things?
Yeah,
they out?
they were just observing from like a distance. They're like, "Oh, let's step in. Okay, let's go get him."
Okay.
They take him back to like this big old.
So you're saying
English
like if the
country
army was
manor.
there, they would have saved that guy from getting a drip in his eye?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
No, they.
I was
Well,
trying to blame them.
you find out later why they didn't show up until they did. So they're taken to like this big English like castle thing that it's not really the army. It's like a squad of guys from the army.
And they're like squatting at just a house.
Yeah, they just like
a
moved
large
into this
mansion?
big manor.
Why not?
And it's like they're
More of a
base now.
militia than an army, I guess.
I mean, I guess in the sense that like the army doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah.
How
But
many people?
There's like
pretty big group, I think.
I mean, it's like probably like 20 of them, I think, or something like
20? Okay.
that. They have like they have like it's like into all the lawns around this place is like a minefield. And
Is this going to be a movie where they're like going to want to like steal the lady from this group? Is it that kind of thing?
Exactly what happens. But
Son of
they want to
a-
steal both the ladies.
Oh no!
Wait, what?
So they take him in and
For
they're like,
reproduction.
we'll keep you safe, don't worry. And then basically they take Cillian Murphy aside and they're like, all right, bro, we're gonna let you in on a secret. We need to repopulate the earth. And so these ladies now belong to everybody.
They're worth a lot
Both of
more
them.
money.
Even the little girl.
We're gonna go Handmaid's Tale
man.
on them, even though that didn't come out for 20 years after this thing.
And so they're basically like, look, you're real cool. You're Cillian Murphy. You dig your films. You can stay. It's fine. And Cillian
were
Murphy's,
great
as Scarecrow.
Cillian
You were
Murphy's
great in
like,
Batman Begins.
he's like, if you've seen any of my movies, you know I'd never go along with this. And he like has to run. He like flees. And they're trying to like kill him on the way out because they can't let him
he
live.
saves those people though that he came with the
No, he leaves
daughter.
them. He leaves them behind.
Oh, what?
How's he going to save
He's
them?
got to go back to because that movie ends with them on the beach.
Then he goes back to save them.
Oh, does he get like super
Fool me
equipped?
once.
Does he like? Go ahead.
What?
I want
Fool
you to
me-
finish your quote.
Fool me, can't get fooled again.
Does he go like power up? Does he go get like weapons and like a new car and like outfit his Jeep Wrangler with like spikes and like charges into that militia base?
I feel like he
becomes like a
he,
super
runs
action
into
movie.
the woods and then sits
Yeah.
down. He's like, time to go back, and and just like he like sneaks back in at night. And
All Trojan horse style.
I think the army dudes have like a zombie in the basement.
Oh no, he leads some of them back to that camp.
Well, he
Or
does.
he leads some zombies back?
Maybe intentionally or not.
Yeah, he does lead some zombies back. You're right, because and then he blows up their front gate. So like all the army guys are focused on fighting off the
Yeah.
zombies, so he can sneak into the manor.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. I think you are right about that, Brad.
I don't know if it's intentional or not.
But he does.
It happens.
He does like they have one of these zombies. I wonder if it was one of their buddies or something that turned into one, and so they just captured him. But he
It is
like,
possible he just lets that one out.
He lets that
and
one out. I think it's
causes
both. I
enough
think it's
damage.
both of these because he lets that one out, and that one starts like wreaking havoc on the dudes that are in there.
Yeah, that for sure happens.
And like he gets the commander of the army dudes. He's a big British actor. You'll recognize.
Is this Gleason,
I can't
or is
remember-
Gleason the dad?
No, Gleason was. I think he was the dad.
He's some blonde
With the
guy?
admiral.
He's like a bald dude.
Mr. Clean. It's the first ball dude that popped into my head.
He kind of looks like Ralph
He's not even a
Fiennes.
real man.
Cartoon
He's
character,
not.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean, why would you do this?
Is he British?
He would help in a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, I'm Mr.
He
Clean.
He kills 99.9%
Chim,
of
chimmery,
bacteria,
chim,
but,
chimmery,
but
chim,
not,
chim,
not the
chimmery.
rage bacteria, though. He couldn't kill that one.
Mr. Queen is as walkie can do.
I'd watch that. Give me those commercials. I'd buy that.
What's happening? You're combining so many things.
It's just references. Who's getting these references?
Mr. Clean and Mary Poppins.
Everyone knows, but
Doing
we
a
don't know
dick-
why. We don't know why.
You never asked
It's
why.
British.
Is
It's
he
the
though?
worst British accent alive.
So he saves the ladies.
Yes.
They get out of there.
And all the army guys, I think, die.
Great.
Wow.
But they get to that island that he knew about, or they somehow was real with the radio broadcast.
Yeah, so I think the
that
end
place
is
was
when they get
real.
there. And then I think there's a cool pan out shot, and they have like help written on the roof of whatever this thing, like the house there or something, maybe, or maybe that's number 2.
They might be on the beach with like a help sign, or like helicopters come at the end.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
But I don't really trust people at
But
this point.
but the ending is
in the
basically
world.
like they've become the parents of the kid now, and so that's just
right,
sort of
right,
the
right.
ending. They're a new family.
Wow. Movie.
This movie's so good. I can't wait to watch this.
I'm excited. Yeah.
So that's 28 days later.
We don't need to do that.
Do we need to wait
What do you mean?
28 days to watch this?
Or you see the ring? I don't what?
What?
We're all making. There's too many references happening. I can't keep up.
What's
What?
happening? First spook.
Are we on Zoom right
Spooktacular.
I was just trying to get last comments. We're still making jokes.
I mean, you're being generous by calling them jokes, but
I am. I'm also being generous by calling them comments.
Are you joking?
I'm commenting. Now that was a joke.
oh boy.
And a comment.
I have a story.
Ooh.
So I'm going to leave my friend's name out of this. Keep him anonymous.
Who is it?
I'll let you know later.
I just wanted to see.
Testing you.
But before this movie came out, maybe right when it came out, this was when you could get movies from the internet.
You wouldn't steal
Illegally.
this car.
And he like came over and just like begged me to, like, he wanted to see this movie,
Oh man.
thinking he like couldn't find it anywhere. It ended up being like art theaters like a week after or whatever. But I looked all night like trying to find like a torrent for this thing.
Did you download a virus, Brad?
I downloaded 28 days later. It had a virus in it because it's a virus film.
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
But I remember it being like
What a viral marketing
It was like
campaign.
a cam quality, and the movie's like already shot in like a DV cam quality. So it was like,
yeah.
I'm like,
double
what's
bad.
happening
DV
here?
cam of the movie shot. What DV video?
Yeah.
I
and
love
then
it.
a guy shot his TV
Right.
of that video.
A guy's videoing the little LCD side camera display on a camera, watching the film.
I remember like not really being able to see what's happening in this
really
film.
tell any longer.
What's happening?
I remember liking it, but I was like, I can't really see what's happening in this movie.
How many videos back do you think you need to go before you can't really make out the sound quality?
Man, for me, it's like one level of separation. I'm like, I can't watch this.
Two would be probably terrible.
But yeah, it was like one of the first like movies I ever saw on the internet.
Man, that's a story.
That's it. We'll see what we got right and what we got wrong in part 2 of 28 Days Later.
Mr. Bridges.
Where you been?
This is daughter. They live 4 doors down.
Were you bitten? Did any of the blood get in your mouth? Mark?
Wait.
Get that cleaned off. Do you have any clothes here?
Yes.
Then get them and get dressed. We have to leave now. More infected will be coming. They always do.
Welcome back to the If I've Said It Once, I've Said It 1,000 times. If there's male butt in a movie, tell me podcast.
Where's your site, Brad?
Nobody told me there was going to be
You need
butt
an
in this
alarm. You need like some
Where's
kind of
your
red
site,
light
Brad?
that's gonna go off.
What are the odds we
You
get
need, like-
back-to-back male butt films?
You need like a bad signal, but it's like a red spotlight with a pair of butt cheeks
For
on it.
butts.
It's just like boof. And we
Did
all
you start
feel
that
like,
website, Brad?
I saw
butts.
Cillian Murphy's butt
And his bing bongs.
and his.
But
and
that's
his
a weird
His
thing.
bing
That's a weird
bongs?
reuse
No,
of
his
that.
ding dongs.
His ding dongs. You're right. I don't know. I'm too focused on the bing bong in the movies, you know. But you're right. We saw his ding dong.
The shaved side of the head.
Yeah, to put the cords up
Post-surgery.
into. Mm-hmm. He wakes up all alone in that hospital.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
We don't see like anything of him prior to that. Like he just
No.
wakes up.
He,
But
he mentions the car accident.
we did get
Or
a
the
little
bike
bit
accident.
of the beginning because we were trying to figure out if there was anything before that.
Yeah, it looks like an environmental protection agency breaks into this
An
research
EPA,
facility.
like a government. No, they're all
steal-
eco-terrorists. Yeah, like
Eco-terrorists.
Yeah, just
Sure.
some like terrorists.
Some
that are
eco-terrorists
like,
go break
free
into
the
free-
chimps.
animal freedom
Yeah.
now.
Don't free them. They have the rage.
The scientist is like, that's a terrible idea. And they're like, shut up, big pharma. You don't own me. And then they all die. Well, they all get raged.
They all get raged up.
Yeah.
They
The
get
rage people,
super
do they
raged.
want to eat you or just kill you?
This is a question I had because, you know, the whole point is that it's like a disease that just melts your brain. Mm-hmm. But, like, it doesn't say that they, like, are dead and come back to life. And people who get, like, deadified are just dead in this. We were wondering about that, too, if it's shot in the head. But there's a couple times they just shoot them in the chest and they're done.
I like that actually because it takes them away from being like the traditional zombie. You got to like kill their brain. You got to decapitate their head.
Yeah.
They're just people.
They're just people that are just
find a way to kill them.
homicidal.
First thing they do is light them on fire, though.
Yeah,
that's
do.
what they decide to
The
do.
crazy
That seems to
pyro
be the
show.
best
They
way.
blow up like a whole gas station. That was amazing.
Yeah.
This movie benefited from the editing. The DV camera, like the editing made it work. It felt a lot like
I was going to ask how you guys felt about it.
Run in a way.
Yeah.
I actually really
Almost documentary-like.
Are you guys
enjoyed it.
excited
it.
for the remastered 4K release?
28 days later?
Really?
Do you think they're
How
not
could-
going to do one?
How could they?
do you think they're not going to do one?
I don't think they could do one.
I thought at
liked
first
it, actually.
I turned it on at first and I was like, this looks like trash. And then I realized that my thing was scaling it to 720p.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
That happened to me, too.
Turn that up to 1080, please, and then upscale it to 4K for me, please.
Yeah, I thought it looked.
And then it looked really good. I thought
it did look good.
it looked very different, and I didn't expect to notice that big a difference. But because I'm always wondering, whenever like the film people are like, ugh, well, they clearly shot this on anamorphic and this wasn't. And I'm like, I can't tell.
Beyond the look,
I'm a
it
terrible
sounded
person.
awesome. The music is so
Oh, man.
good.
There's so
Was
many.
it like it sounded like Johnny Greenwood or something like that the whole
soundtrack.
time?
Oh,
Just like
yeah.
a guitar, just like lingering.
There's a couple of songs that play in the movie. I'm like, man, I remember that song just being like a jam we listened to back
Yep.
then, and then like, oh,
Thinking
it's in
of-
this movie.
You're thinking of Granddaddy.
the one that's in the supermarket.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's 108 a.m.
And then the one that plays like near the end of the film when like all the crazy stuff's happening. It almost reminds me of like the 50 song from Fight Club. But
I don't remember the song.
yeah,
But that Granddaddy song's awesome.
It is. It's so good.
But just even like the audio design, because when you're making a horror movie, that's got to be like your number one priority.
Yeah.
It's got to sound good.
It does.
Yeah, it's gotta sound scary.
I mean, I'm biased because
And loud.
I'm an audio guy, but like
Like that's the thing with horror movies, got to be like quiet, then all of a sudden loud.
you can use it
Right.
for the
There
jumps.
wasn't-
They do,
but they didn't really
many.
do that much. In
No,
this.
they don't. They prepare you. They do the Evil Dead style camera where it's like point of view, someone running. With it not being loud at all, it's like you don't even hear footsteps, and then all of a sudden, bam! They break through a window and it's shattered glass, and it's that's loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he gets attacked. But they set you up, you know that it's
Yeah.
coming.
It's
which
not a
actually
jump
is-
scare. It's just like
It's actually really more enjoyable. It makes it more of like an action sequence.
the movie was very smartly made.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah!
This movie's
Danny
brilliant,
Boyle
man.
knows how to make a film.
Hell yeah!
He's a very intelligent director.
Rewatching this now, even I'm like, there's so many novel things that just happen in this film that you just don't see in movie. Like, it's so weird how like the narrative structure. Like we said, there's sort of 3 acts, but they're very distinct. I feel like from each other. They're almost different movies that share a continuity. And I don't know, the whole thing just felt so fresh, even now, this many years later.
I'll get more deep into that when we talk. Do we have any corrections or anything we want to talk about first?
Eccleston he's the military guy I was trying to remember in the first part.
Yes.
He's a Doctor Who, I think.
The not Paul
Oh,
Bettany.
he is. He's the
He's
first
a-
Doctor Who in like the new season.
the new continuity.
So
yeah.
he's not Paul Bettany,
He is not Paul Bettany.
but he looks like
I
Paul
wish he was
Bettany.
Paul Bettany.
No,
I
and
want
I was
Paul Bettany
looking-
in everything.
I was looking this up too, and this is someone that Danny Boyle used before in
The Train Spotting or
Shallow Grave.
ooh.
Maybe Train Spotting. I
Maybe.
don't know, but definitely Shallow Grave. So this was they're reuniting. What's this actor's name? Christopher
Eccleston.
Eccleston. It's Eccleston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, something like that.
And then the friend in the beginning immediately gets killed.
Oh yeah, real
Yeah.
quick. I was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised too. So I was like, I thought that guy was going to be with us for a little bit longer.
Well, they show you
but-
the stakes of like, and she even says like, you got like sometimes like 10
Oh,
to 30 seconds.
It was brutal. I forgot about that zombie that like falls off of the moon roof or whatever inside the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They'll find any way in.
Oh, he'll get in there.
Dude, some of those Zambos are like I really like the fast zombies. I really like how fast they turn into zombies. I think we mentioned both of those extensively in part 1. But man, it's such a good mechanic for this film, and it at the time was brand new, and it just adds such a sense of urgency to so many scenes, and scenes that are very slow become fast just in an instant. Like that, like the way where they're wandering around the parents' house just chilling, and then it's just zombies everywhere. They're quick. You gotta go, and it's just like the scene moves.
I love the breathing room and the transition between that and the action scenes.
Yes.
The action scenes always serve a purpose.
Yeah.
They're never gratuitous.
Yep.
Yeah, and well, even by the end too, like the whole later sequence with the military stuff, I felt like I loved that a lot more than the beginning stuff because it just picked up so much faster, and it was a lot more interesting to me as an idea or as a storyline. This like established place that's like trying to bring people in to start a colony, but they got nobody.
Yeah, they got no one. We were trying to remember like what happens with the very final like assault or whatever. Brad had the brilliant idea of like Cillian Murphy brings a horde of zombies to like assault the place, which would have been awesome. It didn't quite happen that way.
That happens in a different way. That someone brings zombies to him. I forgot that happened at some point.
I mean, they sort
But it
of
was the other
he
way
tracks
around.
zombies to the checkpoint later when
Yeah.
it's just the two guys show up there, and he like kills the one super ninja style, which was
Right.
pretty rad. And like he chases off Eccleston with some zombies that show up basically, but
He does just let that one loose in the house.
He just escapes, and then he lets the one loose, and that one turns the rest
Everyone
into
else
him.
into
And
it,
yeah,
yeah.
But I thought someone mentioned that in part 1.
we knew that he let loose the
Yeah,
one. That
I
was
thought he had brought like a whole horde.
We
of
thought he
them,
brought a
but
horde,
no.
and that like it
Oh.
was distracting most of them with like this fight while he snuck in the back. But no, he just
They definitely
sneaks in.
use the zombies as weapons, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like several times.
Yeah, definitely.
Naomi Harris was the girl's name.
Yes,
We couldn't figure
she's
out.
she's really good in the new Bond films. Really good.
I don't know her at all. This was the only thing that I recognized her from, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, she had done like a giant filmography. I also didn't know her from many things, but it was a British actress doing a bunch of stuff in London, you know? Moonlight.
Yeah, she was in Moonlight, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Moneypenny in the new ones, and not like a classic Moneypenny. She's like Moneypenny is another 00 agent, basically.
She was the weird Calypso character in the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels.
Oh, that's right, the witch doctor lady.
Which
It doesn't. I didn't
That was
see
not-
those.
it was not-
I didn't see
it
those.
was not good.
I forgot that was her.
It shouldn't. It was bad. that was like my least favorite thing.
What I did love about this movie the most is that it made me feel like I was watching like a old indie art
Yeah,
film,
it brought you back to
know?
high school. It felt like
Yeah,
this movie
it
makes
did.
you want to make movies.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah, I felt like just nostalgic. Just like it's on DV, it looks kind of bad, and like it's low budget, or it feels that way. And I was like, man, they're doing it. They're making it work.
The acting and the sound is incredible.
It's so good. It was weird at first.
But it probably wasn't low budget.
No, this is millions of
Not
dollars.
really low budget. Although
not.
I was reading
Giant explosions,
Yeah.
shut down London.
I was
I
reading
mean, he'd
some,
already made like 6 movies
Yeah.
that were all doing
That's true.
well
Oh, sure.
before
Well, that's right.
this.
I was reading some articles from Danny Boyd talking about making this, and like he was like making this on like those DV cameras. He was like was the only way this movie could have been made with what they wanted to do, because he's like, in the time it would have taken us to set up a single camera for one shot, we could set up 7 cameras, and we were ready. So for like all the scenes in London when they needed to like shut down really busy places in a big city, they're like, we were able to capture like a bunch of angles of the same thing and not have to shut it down multiple days and try to figure all that out. We could capture all the footage we needed at one time. And he's like, and the police loved it, because then we were like, we're all done, you can let people in again, because people were getting mad.
Yeah, it said in the trivia that they just had one day on a Sunday for 2 hours to shoot the whole opening.
Yep.
Oh man.
But then the trivia said that they were only able to come up with 1 minute of footage. But I was
Yeah.
watching the sequence.
Well, there's a
and
lot
I
of
was like,
close-ups,
the sequence is
too.
already 4 minutes long.
Oh.
So
There's plenty of close-ups of not the city, of just like Cillian Murphy in a street or like against a building,
And they're all
I
they all
see.
very
So they
much
got
look like
pickup
they're
shots.
or
and
stuff like obscured with like buses and things.
a lot of them are clearly shot at like dawn, like is what it looked like for most of them.
It was
so it's an easy
7 to
time
9
to
is
like
what
block
they
off a
said.
small piece of city. So it was only like the really big ones, like the bridge, like the main square with the memorial
Ferris
fountain
wheel.
thing. Yeah, the Ferris wheel. So there's only a couple of those that they really needed to shut a
I
lot
see.
of stuff
So
down.
the-
and
okay.
the highway the highway when they're driving and it's like just empty. Mm-hmm. Like that one was another one I think they were saying was one of those shots where they needed to get a lot of cameras on it one time versus one nice camera.
I wonder if they got that all in one day, the highway and the other stuff, or if those were
That'd be
separate
a lot
times.
for one day. But here's saying that you can set up these cameras quick and shoot. And yeah, you're absolutely right about the feel, though. This movie makes me want to go and make a zombie movie.
Yeah, seems easy.
Yeah.
You get 4 great actors and a great microphone, and you go shoot your movie.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I watched after I watched this one, then the next day I watched the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. And it's so interesting because the feel of the zombies...
It's good. It's fine.
It's good.
Fine.
It's a fine
It's
film.
fine. It's fine.
I mean, I'm a Zack Snyder fan.
It's fine.
You're also a Zack Snyder apologist, apparently, according to Andy.
I mean, depends on what we're apologizing
You're
for.
also an apple cider drinker.
Ooh,
Zack Snyder. That didn't really rhyme.
Snyder's pretzel.
Apple Snyder.
Ooh.
Apple cider.
But it's
like
weird.
Cockney slang, I guess.
Yeah. It's weird going from this movie though with the very gritty, grainy shot cameras to the Snyder, very noticeable color grade, high production film cameras. Like the shots are just huge and sweeping. So very distinct styles of a very similar kind of movie. And it was fun watching the two, I think, back to back because it's like just two polar opposite approaches to the same kind of style or idea of movie.
So what should we do?
What do you mean?
Go through the plot again?
Go through the movie again? What were the big parts we missed? We didn't talk about the grocery store enough. You were totally right about that tunnel sequence.
Yep, you were totally right about that.
I remember. I
didn't remember that at all.
It.
And
I didn't know that they were fixing a car, though. I didn't remember that.
We had
stuff.
drove over a bunch of cars and stuff. I didn't remember that at all. I didn't remember I barely remembered when he meets the first two people. I knew he did, but I don't know what they did. And they all go to his parents' house and they all wander around for a bit and then they chill out.
They first find Cillian Murphy being chased by zombies at around a gas station from the church. Which you were talking about. That church sequence is also very frightening.
Oh, man.
Because you don't really know what's going on. You see just a pile of bodies.
Well, he's like, hello? And three of them just look at him.
Oh, that was creepy.
Oh.
It looks like an old school Renaissance painting of just destroyed people with guts hanging out and things like that.
I could see that.
And the priest comes up, and at this point, he's like, "Well, I don't know what's going on, buddy." But
and he seems like the priest just sort of seems like he's winded at first, and then you get the face pop up with the red eyes, and you're like, "Oh, get out of there, guy!"
And then more and more zombies come at him. Yeah,
I couldn't tell where some of those zombies were coming from though that popped up because they didn't show up later on. He was still just fighting the priest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the priest went out there.
They're slowly coming out of that.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe they were stuck
people,
stuck with amongst the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And they blow up the gas station.
Yep, and they have a little hideout, a little powwow, and they had a bunch of snacks.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of snaky foods.
There's a lot of food in this movie.
There's a lot of Pepsi in this
The
movie.
food evolves. Yeah, Pepsi. He first gets out of the hospital and he raids a vending machine. It's all broken up.
Slams a Pepsi. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just having sugar the entire film because that's all what's left in the.
Later,
apocalypse.
he wants a tango, and they're like, only Pepsi.
Yeah.
They paid us for this movie.
Sure. And soon after that, they do go to his parents' house, which you were right about.
Yeah.
And they get attacked by more zombies.
That whole bit is so painful.
And that friend
finds his parents, and the note that's just stay sleeping, son.
Yeah.
They wrote the note in case he came back even, and it's man.
Good makeup effects on them dead corpses. They look real good.
Mm-hmm.
They look really, really creepy.
And then he gets attacked by zombies, and then the friend gets bit or cut or something, and then without even
Naomi
a second thought,
she just jumps on him and hacks him.
And she says she knows because she could see it in his eyes.
How did you know? I mean, how did you know he was infected?
The blood.
Yeah, but there was blood everywhere. It was on me. It was on you.
I didn't know he was infected, okay? He knew. I could see it in his face. Look, if someone gets infected, you've got between 10 and 20 seconds to kill them. It might be your brother or your sister or your oldest friend. It makes no difference. And just so you know where you stand, if it happens to you, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
She could see that he knew. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which comes up later.
And I mean, you got 20 seconds, and she just straight up.
Oh, it's brutal.
Oh my god.
Butcher.
She just hacks that dude.
It's like hacking a pig.
Ugh.
And then they get out and they find there's the apartment with flashing lights. So they're like, let's go there. So this is the tower part that I remembered. Mm-hmm. They go in and they're climbing up. And this was the only piece of this movie where I laughed because it was a little goofy. And they look down or something, and one of the zombies flies over something, and she's like, "Quiet, they'll hear us," and just yells it. And I was like, what was that? That was the one part of the movie I didn't get.
It's also very important to know that she was ahead of Cillian Murphy. He's dragging behind, and he's constantly saying slow down, I can't do it. And at this point, she is still fight or flight. I'm looking out for myself and no one else.
Yes.
So it's a big characters.
Yeah,
There's so many like
part
cute
of her
little
like,
character
theme
moments.
is like
Which, she specifically has like
Flying
a very
solo
bleak outlook
versus-
too, where she's like, the world's over, man. There's nothing to even hope about.
Yeah.
It's just survival. And he's like, come on, that's silly.
she kind of, or he kind of gives her some hope along the way with Haley, was that her name? The
Oh yeah,
girl?
The daughter?
The daughter.
I can't remember.
They melt her icy heart.
Right,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah, but Brendan Gleeson's up there with like SWAT gear, and he
Oh
just
yeah,
beats the crap out
Takes
of them
those
zombies.
out.
That guy was awesome.
It's not his first time doing that. Yeah,
He
He's
knows
so
what's
he's
up.
so great.
his character like is so important too.
Yes,
He's
it
like
really
keeping
is.
hope alive. He's got a daughter,
He's the father figure.
and the big line.
They're
that-
creating a family in
They
this
do.
movie.
They do.
I'll get into that more
Yeah.
in a little bit. Cillian Murphy and Naomi Harris say that they need them more than they need us, or vice versa. They need us more than they they know, and it's very true. They're just stuck in an apartment. They're like they can't go anywhere.
Probably need us more than we need them.
I think they're good people.
Good people.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice, but you should be more concerned about whether they're going to slow you down.
Right, because if they slowed you down
I'd leave them behind.
in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Then you're going to wind up getting yourself killed.
Right, it's older guy, very younger girl. They're not like going to be great fighters per se, but they might offer some
they're
other
father-daughter.
things. Right. But like, yeah, I mean, like
They're
terms of
just stuck in this place.
they
The
need
plumbing
each other
doesn't
to be
work.
able to
Yeah.
move forward.
I love that bit where he talks about, he's like, you'd think there'd be a ton of water just sitting around. But he's like, but water goes really quick. Either it spoils or it evaporates, and now we don't have water. And it's just like a million buckets.
Yeah,
on
they
a
go up
roof.
onto the roof, which is another funny scene because there's very obviously like laundry baskets with holes in them for like catching water.
Take what you can get, any kind of water. Just to get a little bit of the bottom there.
Yeah. But yeah, he like admits that he's been trying. It hasn't rained in weeks. He's been trying to catch the evaporation. Hasn't been working.
Yep.
And they're desperate.
There are some moments in this movie where I'm just like, how do you guys still have some of these things? You know, like maybe there's some moments where they're able to pick some of this stuff up because, like, I guess it's hasn't been that long since the pandemic started.
Yeah, I thought this is a correction because I thought they got like straight on attacked and like pushed away out of the tower. I thought they like had to escape on the roof or down a fire escape or
Right.
something. But no, they
willingly
fend off the
leave.
first zombies and then they just leave after that in his taxi or whatever.
And then they go down to that tunnel, I believe, right?
Yeah.
The grocery store happens.
Yeah. Do
Oh,
they
the
have
grocery store.
Do they have motivation from the military from like a CB tower while they're in the house, or do they only get that when they're in the car?
Yeah,
apartment.
in the apartment when
He
they're on
has
the
a little crank
balcony,
radio.
he shows them the radio. And
Oh,
he's
right,
like, this
right.
thing's been going for a couple weeks. You know, it's
we need to get
it's
there.
somewhere we can head toward. You know, but like we need each other to be able to do it. So he presents basically an idea of them
Yep.
going somewhere else.
They all pile up in that car. Mm-hmm. And they're
Like a Volkswagen.
And they have a fun road trip through the American Southwest.
Yeah, they say it's going to take like 3 days if they go one route, but 2 days if they go another, and they end up like taking the shortcut through that tunnel. And I don't know how they get through that thing, but they bust a tire.
Yep.
And it's like this huge like stressful situation where like the zombies are coming, they're trying to fix the tire. It's like
Oh man.
How do you fix a tire that fast?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was like, that would take me so much longer. I'd be like, well, I'm dead.
They end up having to lift the car while Hannah screws the
Does
new
the
tire.
yeah,
on.
does the tire
Oh my
part.
god,
It-
she screwed it on.
Yeah, with the old
the
school
jack,
tire
yeah.
iron. Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
And it was funny because instead of using the jack, they just all lift it. And I think they portrayed it though like this was
The
something
teamwork.
that Hannah and her dad had kind of done as a fun thing before, where it was like he's like, let's do a quick tire change, and it seemed like they played it off like this is something they do, so they're kind of prepared for it at least. But
Hannah is very versed with the car. That's like
Yes.
her thing.
She like Tokyo drifts it later.
She does. Like, he gets, like, kind of upset, her dad.
well, I mean, if it's your
It's
only
like,
car, you're like,
brake,
come on, guy.
brake. Because she is, like, heading straight towards the oil
Fuel
tanker.
truck, yeah.
Yeah, fuel truck.
Oh, my
But
God.
you know, she doesn't let you down. That Hannah,
Kind of smirked at the end, too, when she, like, drifted it.
she knows what she's doing the whole time.
The gas station scene was really interesting because, yeah, like Cillian Murphy wanders into the station and gets attacked by a ninja
sure.
kid. And I thought
Yeah.
that was a really fun one where the kid drops down and it is just zero sound at all. Like, it's so, like,
That kid's very fast, though.
He's real quick.
Cillian Murphy goes ahead and just beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, takes him out. And that comes up later when the commander gets to ask him about
because
that.
it turns out to be the only person that he actually kills.
Before that's the grocery store scene, which I forgot about the film, but it was so good.
It's so fun.
It's very cool. Like, you want to be alone in a grocery store, just have that time.
With
Supermarket
all of that,
sweep, man.
all of that, yeah, it had so much stuff.
Brendan Gleeson's grabbing
Like
the
nobody
good booze.
grabbed on the way out.
That's
no
what
one had
I
time to
did
grab
think
any of
about
that
I was
stuff.
like, no one. The place was like pristine. I was like, shoot, man. They said there might be a pandemic here, and stores were empty. Like, there's no way this would have happened. But
well, maybe everybody had to just go like immediately.
yeah, with how fast the infection goes, it's like, I guess you didn't really have the time. I mean, if you're in London, especially.
Yeah, I don't even remember seeing like dead bodies in that place.
No.
It was just all sealed up, I guess.
Yeah.
It was the one locked convenience store in all of London.
Sometimes that happens.
Like a whole.
I was
crate of
listening to
apples.
the Genghis Khan podcast, the Dan Carlin
man.
one, and they were even talking about like sometimes like people would stroll into a village that he had gone through, and it like was as if like life was still like kind of happening, but there was nobody there.
Everyone just vanishes.
Everyone's just gone.
Yeah.
So they get to where their goal is, the military complex. There's nothing there. It's all hope is lost.
Well, they have the bonding stuff on the road trip. Like
They do.
They
They do,
stop
you're
to
right.
camp at like the little ruins of something.
And that's where like Selena confides in Jim that like she sees hope for like the first time.
She's suddenly starting like watching Hannah and her dad is making her be like, "Hey,
Yeah, that seems like the
maybe
middle
everything's
point
not
of the
over.
movie where like they're even having like a family cohesion. Like Cillian Murphy accidentally in his sleep like even calls him dad.
Yeah,
like,
he has a dream sequence.
He does.
does.
Yeah,
He
he thinks
does.
they abandoned him.
it was a weird like comeback too from the dream sequence because it wasn't like how movies typically do it, where all of a sudden the person wakes up.
Yeah.
he like all of a sudden woke up in the dream, and then like it slowly panned out as he was sleeping, and then he woke up. So it kind of did it in reverse.
There's some drug usage here. I don't know what it really like is the meaning of it or what the director is like saying with it, but there's a moment where like Hannah wants to take like some sleeping pills because she hasn't been like sleeping at all.
Yeah, Cillian asks Naomi how do you sleep? And she's like, I have a big old bottle of Valium. And he's like, give me some of that good stuff.
And I guess she used to be a nurse, or she used to.
That's what it
something
seemed
like that.
I don't know if she
She said
mentioned it.
chemist.
Oh, okay.
I was a chemist.
So maybe she can like find a cure later or something. But she seems to have given up hope to. Like,
Yeah.
want
I
to
think
do
that's a
stuff.
lost cause at this point. Like that's not something you even want to explore in this
No,
movie.
well, and again,
Yeah,
being-
wait
you
till the
didn't pick
sequel.
the right characters for that kind of story.
right, yeah. The party's not, it doesn't have the right skill set.
right.
But then they go to that empty military complex.
Yeah.
Right, and this is like a sad moment. I got sad.
Yeah.
I got real sad.
Brandon Gleeson's throwing
It's
a
so
fit.
hard.
Yeah, he's throwing a fit because there's no one there.
And he feels like he let everyone down because this was like his idea.
And they're like, we'll try somewhere else. He's like, there's nowhere else to go.
He was like, this was
it.
like the last thing holding him together. Basically, was the idea that this thing existed.
And then he's just like kind of walking away all on his own and getting a little irritated. And
At the crow.
And then there's a crow, and the crow's like,
crow.
and he decides like, all right, I'm just gonna go kick this like pole that this crow's on. And he kicks it right as like there is a dead guy up there, a dead.
That the crow's picking on.
Yep. And just a drop of blood just from
Right in the eyeball.
Dad, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, sweetheart. Sorry I lost my temper. Hannah, I love you very much.
What?
Keep away from me. Stay where you are.
Dad?
Keep away from me!
Dad?
Keep away from me! Keep away from me! Keep away! Keep away! Keep away!
What's wrong? Dad!
Jim! Jim, he's infected!
No!
Jim! No! Jim, kill him! Jim! Kill him!
Stay away from him!
and they even shoot it in a way that like you're the point of view of the drop of blood into his
man.
eye. Ugh. And then he just like panics like right away because by that point like they've already talked about it. Like, did you get any in your eye? Did you get any in your eye? So he's totally done.
Yeah. But nobody can kill him. They like refuse to do it. And then some military people come up and shoot the shit out of him. Oh, yeah.
This is the moment where I was like, you guys don't have enough bullets for that. Come on.
This one was so good because he like falls to the ground and they just keep shooting his body on the ground. And then Hannah's like, Dad? And I was like, oh, Hannah.
Okay,
honey.
So listen, that when you were talking about Goofy, that moment right there made me go, that's not the right reaction from her. She was just like, Dad?
I was like, girl, he gone.
And then like she's just like sitting there and they linger for a while. And I was like, Hannah, nothing? No reaction? Just Dad?
Well,
maybe she was in shock.
Yeah, maybe she had more of that Valium in her.
Maybe.
And they go back to that military place and they have a fun time and the movie's over. No, that's not true.
No.
It gets worse.
No, it gets real worse.
You thought zombies were bad.
The movie guy,
This is the part where the movie really starts to pick up.
Yeah, the military guys get gross.
And I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
They're living in a sweet, swanky mansion. They've got like a minefield set up outside the
They got a giant courtyard, front yard, like Richie Rich style.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember that scene in Richie Rich when they're like running through the courtyard, zigzagging back to the place?
Absolutely.
That's what they have. That's what they have here.
And it's just like it's like a football team or something in there. Just a bunch of military bros.
And there was only like 10 of them. It didn't seem like there was that many.
And apparently a lot of them were going to commit suicide.
This is, something that comes out
All
later.
hope was lost with them,
That,
when no one was
There's some really good Christopher Eccleston dialoguing.
I thought it was a great moment because, like, you understand the position that he's in.
Yeah.
Well, if he's going to create a community, but like, oops, it's just all men. Well, we need women, or else like all the guys are just going to be
trust
like, well, what's
them,
the
and
point?
then you hate them, and you understand,
kind of
but you still hate them.
He's like, but like also it's bad.
He's making the hard decisions.
Just from the very first conversation he has, where
you can't do safe decisions though.
When he's talking with Cillian Murphy, and he's like, I know this is not what you expected. You expected like a compound and a lot of guys, and that's not what this is. He's like, but we're trying.
And I gotta say, there's some great foreshadowing here because they have a nice little dinner time, and the chef has made eggs for them the first time. These special eggs.
Yep.
And those eggs are bad.
Oh, they're bad.
I love that line that he had too. He's like, in all the cooking that you did you ever realize that these eggs are horrible?
Did you ever taste the eggs?
Did you ever taste that these eggs are horrible?
And that's like the first sign is like, okay, nothing is what it seems.
Yeah.
It may look good, but it's bad in the core. That's what these people are. The eggs represent the troops, the soldiers.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor. I didn't even realize that.
Yep.
James, did you notice while cooking that these eggs were off?
I thought the salt might cover the taste, sir.
Get rid of it.
Doris, you
I don't suppose you can cook, can you? Can't tell you how badly we need someone with a little flair in the kitchen.
Then they don't even eat the eggs, which is sad.
No, they have like
only he got to try them.
So there's like an old gruff guy who is like the second in command sort of dude.
The older sergeant or whatever.
Who everyone respects, but like he has a different point of view than them. And then there's like the star quarterback of the team. I don't know who that guy is. That blonde kid who is just
with the real square face. Yeah,
all pent up sexual frustration.
He was the one that was going to have sex.
Yeah,
with.
he almost like in front of everybody, like almost raped poor Selena.
Yeah, he was like, he was getting gross in front of everybody until the sergeant guy was like, "Hey, cut it out," and then. Yeah,
there's a way to do this, please. Mm-hmm. Like, we have some decorum.
Right, exactly.
And then we get, like, there's some of the other guys. There's, like, the goofy fuck-up, who's the guy who did the eggs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's got a nice hat on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Sort of the trustworthy, like, doofus. And,
there's a couple other randos that like, don't ever seem
those
to...
are the main important ones.
They're just, like, their bodies, basically.
And their buddy that is a zombie.
Yeah, they have a friend out in the courtyard.
Zombie friend.
Got caught, yeah.
Old Ben.
Out there just vomiting blood.
He did just vomit blood everywhere.
Oh, that I love that bit later. Yeah,
all those nice white sheets out there, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they need some blood on it. Vomit.
What you gonna do? Get some blood on it.
And I will say that actor was great.
Oh, yeah.
There were some great, like, zigzaggy, jerky movements that he was doing that were really fun.
He's really good.
In the trivia, Danny Boyle said that he casted athletes, like prime athletes, as zombies because he wanted them to be physically imposing and have, like, unique movements and things.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, that's the panic of these zombies, is that they're fast and they all run forever at you. You know,
yeah.
They
They
don't
won't
seem
stop.
to give up.
Veteran soldier guy is on Cillian Murphy and Selina's side. Like,
Yes.
he doesn't want this
He's
to
the
happen.
one nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, we can't do it. We can't force this to happen.
Yeah.
But it's already too far gone. He's like, promise the men, we're going to get you some ladies. And here they are. So, you gruff old man, Cillian Murphy, you got to go out to the back of the shed and we're going to shoot you.
And I like this because I was half joking when I was like, when he takes Cillian Murphy aside, he's like, look, you're cool. So I'm going to let you in on what's going on. He like genuinely does that.
He does.
He's like on the floor. He's like, look, you're all right. You're cool to stay, but this is how it's going. And Cillian's like, no.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, so he like tries to get them right away, and he's like, "We gotta go!" And they bust his nose.
Yeah. They knock him out. They're like, what were
That's
you
where
trying?
he finds himself chained up
Yep.
to like a radiator outside or something like that.
And they take him and the sergeant guy to go get executed. Mm-hmm. And so quarterback dude and the doofus, I think, are the ones
Yeah.
that go to execute them. And man, quarterback dude is like, I'm not even gonna shoot him. I'm just gonna cut him because I'm a sadistic, crazy
Puts a
guy
bayonet
that
on
everyone needs to
the
hate.
front of his assault rifle.
Yeah.
Was he gonna stab him?
Yeah,
Yes.
he was gonna stab him. And the other guy's like, "But we just shoot him, though. That's what we're supposed to do." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna cut him." And then the other dude shoots him instead. And
The
quarterback
the
gets
doofus
mad.
guy.
Yeah,
The
doofus,
doofus
does.
shoots
Yeah.
him.
And quarterback gets mad at him, so they start wrestling. And that's how Cillian Murphy's like, "I'm gonna get out of here."
Cillian Murphy ducks into a pile of like corpses or something on
Yep.
the side, while the gruff sergeant guy like takes off. So they chase him, but they lose track of Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy jumps a fence and gets his shirt torn off. Get to see that bod. And
He's
then,
shirtless for most of this film, I feel.
And then it starts pouring pretty soon after
the
this.
rain.
oh yeah, finally gets that rain that the one dude was complaining about
Yeah,
earlier.
they pretty much give up on like looking for him right away.
They
But,
figure he's probably there's no way he's alive, right?
but they go out again to try to get him, don't they?
They're still looking.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're out there for a
because
little bit.
he ambushes them in like a car, like in the same like gas station or military compound, or like a similar area.
So
No,
this
he
is-
gets the other people.
This is later. So
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy activates like a siren at their checkpoint that they stopped at the first time. He like cranks this siren and they're like, "Ah, it's him!" And that's when the two guys are like, "Yeah, he kind of got away, but we
Well,
figured
oh,
he
right,
probably
right,
dead."
right.
Eccleston's mad, so he's like, "You get in the car, we're going." And they go to check it out, and Cillian kills the
Oh,
one guy.
he's murderous. He can do it with his bare hands.
Dude, that shot where he just like flies in and like
is the
just takes that
rage.
dude out. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not messing around anymore. He's like, look, I was in a coma, but now I'm back and I'm ready to kill everyone.
That was like the moment where I was like, can you imagine just like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm going into the hospital for a surgery." And then you wake up and like 4 days later, you're like whacking a guy with a hammer
Yeah,
as he's like
seriously.
climbing the ladder.
Killing a soldier on a ladder, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said words after whacking a guy.
Whacking a guy off.
Whack a guy off a guy.
I didn't
whack
say what
off
I
a guy.
wanted to say because of the censors.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta watch out for those.
But he's very good at murdering people. Cillian Murphy, he's got it down.
Yeah, that's
he knows
the
what he's
second guy.
doing.
He
There was a
kills.
scene later I meant that I could not
Oh
watch.
boy, yeah. Yep.
You know.
You
Maybe.
should know
Yeah, you
exactly what
okay,
we're
come
talking
on,
about.
you know.
So they want to pretty the ladies up while this is all happening.
Yes, because they're getting ready for the big night.
Yeah, it's almost like a ceremony of
Oh,
sorts.
it's gross.
We want our rape victims to look their best.
Yep. So they give them nice dresses.
Yeah.
Do they drug Hannah or does
So she tries to kill Hannah by feeding her too many drugs.
Is that what
she
was
sweet
doing?
talks the doofus?
I thought she said like I don't want you to feel.
I thought she was just
pain.
trying to
May-
drug
I
her
thought
just
she
so
gave- she was giving her
wouldn't be conscious of what was
painkillers.
happening.
that ends up happening too, but I'm pretty sure that she was trying to kill
she
her.
gave her
Oh,
too
maybe,
many though.
Maybe, yeah.
I think she was trying to overdose Hannah. But,
Yeah,
I mean, I
think-
could say
think
it either way.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah, trying to do her a favor.
But she didn't give her enough. She just gave her
She's all loopy.
plenty to make her loopy.
numb her out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, this is like awful.
And she does get really loopy, which
Yeah.
adds an extra interesting element to the sequence later on. And this, you don't really want to talk about it.
What's that? What do I want to talk about?
The bathroom scene where they're all in the bathroom with the ladies, and this is like she has to. Selena has to like basically convince them that they have to do this in a proper way.
Yeah, she's like, I need privacy.
Yeah. And so then, does feed the medication, but the guy like
He comes back in.
Comes back like right away.
Yeah.
Is this where Cillian Murphy shows back up?
There's like some time that passes. Like I thought that Selena was raped at least once. Is what it seemed.
Whoa,
like.
Did that happen?
Did it happen?
It did.
I thought they were
did,
just on a couch. I thought it was like cut to them on a couch.
I thought it was like I thought it was like a little bit later.
Uh-oh.
But
maybe
not.
I don't think
maybe
that
not.
happened.
I don't know if that happened, but I hope not.
Yeah.
But Cillian Murphy does come back with an assault rifle and shoots that chained up zombie.
Does.
Well, he frees the chain.
Freeze him.
Yeah.
Yep. To go kill everyone else in the mansion. And like it almost feels like Cillian Murphy is like the leader of the rage zombies.
Well, there's like-
He
almost
turned
kinda
into
he
Tom
can
Cruise
control
within
them.
like
Well, there's the
seconds.
There's the amazing scene at the checkpoint when he's like, basically hunting the two guys, Eccleston and the other guy that shows up, and then like when the camera's panning a front of a truck, and he's like up against the front of this truck, and he looks like a zombie. Like he deliberately
they
looks
even
like he's
added
a rage
sounds
zombie.
where he was just going like,
yeah, like scampering across. Like you think he's a zombie now, and that he's just taking him out. But no, he's just like incredible.
he turned into Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
And this one, he's just like freaking. He's going in and out of this building across
he's
the
so-
rooftops,
seriously.
scampering around.
When he gets to the house, he's like going
He's so
into
wily.
rooms
Dude,
that are
yeah.
secret rooms, and I was like, "How'd you know that room was
he
there?"
came in, had a plan.
I think Scott Eccleston, or Chris Eccleston, shows him around the house. Like
did.
sees all
He
this
gave him a
stuff.
big tour.
Yeah, he knows where every little nook and cranny of this place is. He's
But
using it to his
he-
advantage.
But yeah,
Chris,
the scene.
come on,
the scene where the
dog.
zombie guy, like the zombie, first gets in, though, like he just shows up at the window.
Oh,
Behind
he's just
one
like
of the soldiers
staring.
and just, psh, like smashes through. You're like, oh my god, amazing! It's so good.
And then every time that zombie gets one, another recruit.
So
Cillian Murphy's
that
building
zombie
his army.
tells two friends, and then they tell two friends, and by then you got like 20 friends.
That's how you get the pyramid zombie scheme.
Yeah,
going.
there you go.
Yeah, and they didn't kill any of those zombies. Like I think they all turned into zombies, and not a single one of them ended up
I think
dying.
the star quarterback guy got killed by Cillian Murphy.
He did.
Like a big
that's the
brutal
scene
way.
Andy couldn't watch later.
the eye poking.
Oh, the eye gouging.
The eye
I see.
gouging.
One of my favorite deaths though is like one of the soldiers who was kind of one of the goofy guys was like at the top of the steps and sees like the captured zombie at the bottom. He's just like, "You jerk," and he's about to kill him, and then the other guy just like tackles him from the side. I was like, you waited, you gloated, you fool. Now you're done.
And then there's like a scene in like a kitchen where like one guy's like gonna kill a zombie, but then a zombie, like you just said, jumps out of nowhere,
Yep.
and then like the two zombies take that one guy to
Destroy him.
yeah, and then there's a guy in the same kitchen, but like hiding in the cupboard.
Hidden some cupboards.
And eventually he comes out because there's no one around, and he's just like running away. And this guy seems to be like in over his head. He's not like really like
this
a
was the
bad
guy
guy.
that was like kind of a doofus. Like he wasn't a nice guy, but
He was the other guy.
Doofus.
He was the other guy that went to shoot them, and I think he
Yes.
was
He
the guy
didn't deserve
that
a
shot.
super death, just like a normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
normal
he got bayoneted himself
by Cillian.
by Cillian Murphy. Yeah,
He just stabs me. He's like, oh. It's like, yeah, you should have seen this coming, guy. Come on.
and he just leaves the whole rifle inside him.
Oh man.
Ugh.
So now there's zombies happening all over the place.
I think like there's a scene too where Cillian Murphy like runs upstairs, goes into a bathroom, and then there's a soldier in the bathroom, and he's just like, "I got no bullets." And then Cillian Murphy just like hops out the window, and he's like, "Don't leave me!" And I was like, "This guy's just like nonstop running."
I was like, this guy is not sure what he's. And then the zombies come in after, and we're like, hey, guy, no bullets. Let's get him. Just wreck him. Like
the reason why you got no bullets is because you shot so
my
many
gosh,
at that
they
guy,
did.
and then you had so much fun. We didn't talk about this. The scene where they're
a bunch of zombies
a bunch of zombies have a raid on the house, and they're just going to town, mowing them and blowing shit
I was
up.
like, they must have all the ammo in the world at that place. They're
and
just
then like,
blah blah blah.
well, later tonight, no ammo left.
Yeah,
we're out.
what do you know?
Well, you wasted it like 2 hours ago on nothing.
So the women at this point, they like are trying to also get away and also just get away from the zombies because they know there are zombies in the house now.
Right.
And so they're like scampering. Hannah's still out of it, zoomed out, loopy. So like Naomi's just trying to find her and get her to safety, sort of.
I thought they were just in like a almost like a parlor scene on a couch with like Hannah passed out, Naomi's there.
Yeah.
And then
But then they run upstairs and like Hannah just
gets,
like
wanders
off.
Oh,
she has-
is this
yeah.
before Cillian Murphy finds them or
Yes,
after?
this is before because
Okay.
she has to hide from that zombie that busts in. She's like freaking
Yeah.
Tom Cruising it on the back of that mirror.
Yeah. so she
all arm strength.
She wanders off to a bathroom, and
But
then
there's an important scene when Selena sees Cillian Murphy kill that one guy in cold blood.
So
and then
here's where Cillian kills
she
the jock.
thinks that he could be infected.
Yeah, because he just goes to town on that dude, so it seems like he's a zombie.
But she looks in his eyes and knows that he is not.
It's a good scene because he's in the shadows and she's like, oh.
She has the machete, it's her weapon of choice of the whole thing.
And right before she gets him, he's like, come on.
He doesn't even say anything. He just like, I'm good, dog.
Stop. I was like, she could have. I was waiting for just. That's it.
that would have been a sad ending.
No, it was great the way they set it up. I loved it.
So they do get Hannah. After he wrecks the jock guy, they get out of the building, and you think they're pretty much home free. And then surprise.
Yeah, this is a weird sequence. So they're like,
was Hannah already in the car, and then he was in the back seat?
They put her in the car.
He was in the back seat already, and Hannah was getting in the car.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then so she got in the car, and that's when
we're saying we're talking about the main general villain guy,
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
He was already in the back seat. Hannah gets in the car. They open the back seat to get in together.
Hannah just goes in reverse and just hits that gas. And then there's a bunch of rage zombies behind the car.
The captured zombie. He shows up again. He's just like, poetic justice, and just rips Eccleston out of the back seat. Like, you're mine.
He just
breaks the back window and goes for it.
Yeah.
And drags him out.
So when did Cillian get shot? Was that before they get in the car and this stuff?
Yeah, well...
Because Eccleston shoots him.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's right here when he opens the car door.
Opens the car door. They talk for a brief moment. He said, you killed all my guys. Then there's a pause. Then he shoots him. Then Hannah starts driving.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And so they get into the car, all three of them, and then they start driving away. And this is the sequence that I thought was kind of weird.
And then we get another 28 days later.
Cillian Murphy is about to pass out, black out. They're going to charge through the gates of some building.
The gate is locked
of the mansion,
of the mansion.
And then we just cut to a black and then go to a different scene.
Yeah, well, they're talking about should we floor it? Let's go through, and they decide just do it.
Go through all these gates. It's a metaphor.
We already jumped the cars in the tunnel. Just go through the gate.
So I'm assuming that he had a concussion, was out for another 28 days, or is this just 28 days later?
He's just really prone to comas.
Recovery.
Because you're right. They flash the 28 days on the screen again. I'm like, are they saying the movie title because it's near the end again, and they're just like, hey, but
hey, reminder, you're watching this movie.
Another 20? Because they can't be, because they say that, and then they show him in a hospital trying to heal him, and I was like, they couldn't have waited 28 days to fix his gunshot wound. But it is a little strange. They're like, it
might just be 28 days after all of those events.
But yeah, they found a hospital and managed to save him, basically.
Yeah, they patch him up. He's fine.
Sure.
Yep. And then they find a nice, quaint little cottage in the English countryside.
Someone in part one was talking about, they were talking about an island that they wanted to go to. That didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, you made that up.
That didn't happen.
I like that idea, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
But yeah, they have
I was looking for it in the movie because I thought
you got to go to Shawshank
happen.
Redemption to get that one.
They just find a cottage and they're just living like a family at this cottage.
They could have had that set up. It would have been fine if Hannah or somebody knew, or maybe the dad was talking about some estate that he used to own.
My brother has a place up there, yeah.
But
But instead, Hannah comes running in. She's like, I hear him. And so they start pulling sheets.
We didn't talk about this, too.
Yeah.
Because this connects this scene with the previous one. When Cillian Murphy is running away from the two guys and his shirt rips off and everything, there's a scene where he's in the middle of the woods, I think. And he just he needs a breather, and he lays down, he looks up, and there's a plane flying overhead.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think about it at first, but then you see him wait a second.
Well, and this also, Eccleston has some exposition he gives too, where he's like, his theory is that this is isolated to England. He's like, as soon as this happened, they would have just cut us off because we're an island.
Right.
This is probably, he's like, no one seems to know how widespread the problem is. Is it worldwide or is it just here?
Yeah.
And his thing is he's like, it's just here. I'm sure the world, someone makes says something about they're probably in France, they're talking about The Simpsons or whatever.
I think in 28 weeks it is global.
Yes, well, that's what it basically, in 28 weeks, they confirm his theory that it was
one of those zombies gets a plane ticket.
They turn too quick, man.
Oh man, they let anybody on a plane these days.
Yeah, they're like another belligerent customer. He's like, Americans, am I right?
That's fun.
Oh boy.
All right, well,
I want to talk about Cillian
Let's do
Murphy's
it.
journey.
Okay.
Let's get to it. He starts the movie all alone. No one around him.
Yep.
He finds these two people, a man and a woman. They take him in. They show him his childhood home. The guy gets killed. Cillian Murphy takes that man's place as like the girlfriend, trusted person in the new dynamic of the film. Mm-hmm. They go to the family. They see that this father-daughter are together, so like it's got the cohesive family unit, and Cillian Murphy kind of goes into like almost like a son role, maybe a brother to Hannah kind of thing. And then later on, the dad dies, right? Boom, Cillian Murphy, he's got to be the dad.
He's the dad now.
He's the dad now.
He went from a bike messenger that lived with his parents
He was a bike messenger?
to a dad. Yeah, he says he was a bike courier or something.
Oh.
That's like I think that's why he was in the coma, is because
no
he got like hit by
future
a
in
bus
that.
or something.
All I'm trying to say is like Cillian Murphy keeps getting like put into this like
And
growing family dynamic.
He was a doofus nobody, and now he's like all the responsibility. Now
He's a dad. There's a mom and a dad now.
So this was something that I
It's
almost
like Jurassic Park.
I almost thought was a criticism.
I noticed that too.
At the beginning of the film, and then I realized I'm pretty sure this was like deliberate choice. Is in the first scenes when he wakes up and is wandering through the empty city, like he is expressionless and like almost has zero kind of emotional read on his face for almost all that. He's just blank. And I was like, you have to act, man. What's happening here? Like, you've been in movies. This isn't your first rodeo. And by the end of the film, he is now a much more animated character, including like culminating in his like crazy rampage through this mansion. And I'm like, I wonder if like that's also part of the character progression. Is he starts out as basically just again a guy who was stuck, motionless, like I'm a nobody, and then the end of it is just like I know what I'm doing, and he's like the confident guy.
I felt like he was like a helpless guy.
Has all
who
these
needed...
expressions. He's very involved, and it was an interesting transition.
The movie's got subtext.
I thought he was more of like a helpless guy. He didn't know how to fight. He didn't have any skills, and by the end of the movie, like
he's fully complete.
He had a skill.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, he's doing everything in that last sequence.
Yeah. Yep.
He basically takes out the entire group.
Because he talks to me, and he like early on he thanks Naomi for saving him. He's just like, he's like, I never would have made it even like 20 minutes if you hadn't found me. And like by the end of it, he's the one doing the saving, and he's like, look, he's come
repaying
a long
all
way.
the favors.
It's come full circle.
Yeah.
Jerk. What
a jerk! What a jerk that
jerk
guy is! Wow,
he comes full circle, you jerk.
What's happening?
Oh no,
Brad doesn't like it when I make those jokes.
That's funny. Sorry, I like to do a thing now where if you say something dirty and then I come back to it, like you don't realize it.
Good.
But you just went right for it. That was face value.
right into it.
I mean, the podcast.
Sometimes you got to go face
The
first.
podcast is over. It's been over.
Podcast is over.
It's over.
Thank you for joining us on that episode and every episode that you do. The next movie we're doing has one of the most iconic taglines of all time. In space, no one can hear you scream. We remember Alien.
Where's Earth?
Seems we have intercepted a transmission of unknown origin.
Human.
Unknown.
Can you see this?
I've never seen anything like it.
What the hell is that?
How do we kill it?